Welcome back in. Welcome back to MBP Fishing. Welcome back to Holy Crap. Is that man crazy being out in that crap fishing? Yes, sir. I hope you guys enjoy the show. Man, is it friggin' warm? It's just a tad warm, folks. Temperature's about 95 degrees. Heat index is well in excess of 100 degrees right now, folks, because the humidity is like up into the 80s right now. You can see the moisture in the air. You really can. It's a warm one, folks. It is friggin' warm. Thank you guys for coming in. I hope you guys enjoy the show today. I even got a mic feed. By the way, if you missed it, we did have a little members only, a little ride to the to the uh, to the location, and yeah, I wonder which one was dead in there. That was probably the one I nicked, so I'm not too worried about. It looks like the rest of our worms are okay. I'm gonna have to keep these guys in the shade, folks. I have a makeshift umbrella set up over here, just a couple little pieces of an umbrella I had around the house. That's the one thing I actually forgot to get. Yeah, we spent a little money at Walmart the other day. We got a mount for our camera on our scooter, and we also got a new mic feed. Hope you guys enjoy the show. And when I'm over there, folks, I'll be turning that mic feed off because there's basically no wind out here. I've just got her out here so you guys can hear me. When I get her in there closer, I want you guys to hear the audio outdoors. And I did grease this up some fierce, greaser and oiler. I think she just needs a little bit of 10 TLC out here right now. I think that might be the only time that reel makes that noise. Yeah, then again, maybe not. Stupid thing. I did, folks. I took that sucker apart and put brand new gun oil on her and greased her up and oiled her up good, but she's still friggin' making that ruckus. Let me get the rods out here, folks, and I'll get over to that chat and we can have ourselves a little talky talk. Yep, hope you guys enjoy the show. Welcome back to MBP Fishing. Yes, sir. Welcome back to MBP Fishing. Yes, this is our channel, folks. This is our channel. Can you believe it? Sometimes I can't. Yep, for the life of me, I was just about 2 years ago, I was just over 150 subs. So to be pushing 8,000 subs is incredible. I never thought I'd make it this far, folks. I never did. Got about 70 night crawlers. Now we're gonna have to kind of watch those. These guys in the heat out here, because this stuff is deadly. If you don't create some kind of shade or set in some kind of shade, this stuff can be dangerous. All right, both rods are out. I don't know about this one. She's kind of holding a little interestingly there. I might not need as much weight as I thought. I saw this current ripping over here, and I thought I might need an ounce of weight, but I might not need it. All right, we're gonna leave that a little bit slack. Because I see some big old grassies and stuff over here. I think we might be in for some store. Yeah, there's some big ones hitting the surface, folks. So let me get over here, get our tablet out, and I can check that chat. Hope you guys enjoy the show today. We're gonna keep our bucket in underneath the shade. I'm afraid there's no other option. I mean, this is just too hot, folks. This is just too hot. All right, got our tablet out of our little protective pouch, and I didn't even turn the dang thing on. Really? Oops. Thought I turned that on. Well, we're gonna have to wait for it to boot up, I'm afraid. Sorry about that, folks. I thought I turned this stupid thing on. Guess it didn't. Wow, it is a hot one, folks. It's friggin' hot. Even MVP's got a shade spot made for himself over here. Yeah, it's that hot, folks. I basically put a regular umbrella and buried the butt of the umbrella in the sand. I'm sitting underneath her. There we are. She's let's see. Android is starting. Yes, sirree. That's a pretty good sign. Hopefully, you guys can hear me. This is a new mic feed. Here we are coming on to YouTube. We are on the right account. Let's go to subscriptions. And always shows the ones you're most active with. I'm number 6 actually on my own backup account. That's a big one. Just hit the surface out there, folks. Massive fish. Let's see, 16 incredible people in. It's 11 thumbs up. OG Fishing is first in. How you doing, OG Fishing? OG Fishing says hi. And Dirty. Oh, there's a bite on a big rod. Yeah, he was popping it pretty good. How you doing today, Dirty? Thank you for coming in, my friend. Man, he was really pulverizing that. He was pop, 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 pop. I'm still hitting it too. Oh, missed him. Wonder what the heck that was. I've got my little stringy strings in the way. It looks like you got majority of that worm off on me, so no worries. That's why we dig 70 night crawlers, folks. And unfortunately, this is going to take us a little bit more time to do because I have to do this underneath the protected area because my worms will die out here in 20 minutes if I take them out in the sun. They're going to die out here. It's just hopefully I can use them up before they die. Yeah, they will die out here. It's just yeah, I basically had to abandon my house, folks. I had to go down into the basement. It's that hot in St. Louis right now. And it's still doing it. I don't know why that's doing it. I mean, I oiled and greased her up really good. I don't know why that sucker's still doing that. Let me make sure that drag's set better. Because our first fish yesterday, we lost because I didn't have that drag set perfectly. And lift that up in that sandy bottom. That 1 ounce weight is going to hold just a little bit too tight to that ground. And this one's totally slack. Still healing, folks. Quite a bit of pain over here, but I'm dealing with it. What the heck? You get used to a pain after a while. And the best I could do, folks, is this little shady spot over here. And even this is going to be only partial protection. Let's see, Dirty says MVP fishing the legend. That's another bite. Let's see, Tommy. How you doing, Tommy? Tommy says Mike. Yep, she's popping it too. Oh, how did I miss that fish? Man, he was popping it. Crap. Now, I told you guys we had some active feeding fish down here, folks. They don't care about the heat. If the food is here and they are here, they're going to eat it. Of course, me, that's a bit of a different matter altogether. All right, worms back on. And they're not hitting too far out. I'm seeing them hitting the surface over here pretty close to the bank, so I'm not going to cast that weight way the heck out there when there's some massive fish in here right by the bank. All right. Come on, guys. Give me a break here for a minute. These things are going to kill me if they keep this up. Let's see. Jack Pepper. How you doing today, Jack Pepper? Jack Pepper says, hello, Mike. Wife just left 5 days tying some flies and dropping a like. I got you, my friend, and we are off angle. Just noticed. We need to be a bit like that. Yeah, we were just a little bit off angle there. We're better now. Let's see, Ruth. How you doing today, Ruth? And please, guys, don't forget to subscribe to Ruth. She's an up-and-coming YouTuber. She's trying to get her 50 subs. Trying to make it to 50 so she can go live stream. Ruth says, hey, glad to see you. Glad to see you too, my friend. Jack Pepper says, hey, Dirty. Dirty says, Jack. Tommy says, Jack, you sexy man. Seeker, how are you, brother? Jack Pepper says, OG Fishing. Let's see, Jack says, Tommy, how are you? How are you well? Let's see, Fisherman, how you doing today, Fisherman? Where are you fishing for? Let's see, we're using night crawler, so sky's the limit down here. Potential common species are freshwater drum, common carp, grass carp, buffalo, channel catfish, flathead catfish, several different species of sturgeon, stripers, and white bass. And if you skipjack, thrown in. I'll be happy with a big old common carp. See, Tom says hi. Let's see, Humble, how you doing today? Humble says, dude, do you see those barges over yonder? I'm sure they're not eco-friendly. Just saying. Eh. There's been barges running up and down on this river oof, since the latter part of the 1600s. Let's see. Ruth says a perfect angle. Yep, perfect. We got to see our rods and everything. Robert, how you doing today, Robert? Robert says, sup, Mike. I'm at work, but seeing you was on, so I'm saying hi and like. Thanks, Robert. I appreciate you dropping by. Ruth says, hey, everyone. Chris says, yes, yes. There he is. Chris says, share the like out. How is it with me? I mean, you're probably asking how is it with you. Uh, as long as I sit in the shade underneath this umbrella that I've got pinned to the ground, it's it's manageable. But we're gonna make do. 18 incredible people in and 20 thumbs up. Awesome, folks. Yeah, I did a little members only this morning of my ride to the location. That will be put public around 5 o'clock this evening. That way, everyone can get to watch her. Oh, you're fine. Absolutely fine, Chris. I've been getting very few shares, so one share a live feed per person is more than what YouTube is. Oh, that's a pop, pop, pop. Come on. Yeah, as soon as I walked over here to reel that in, that's what I've been expecting is that current to rip her off the bottom. But oh, there's a bite on that one. I see that. Yeah, this has got the lighter weight on her, folks. So, oh, you little stinker. Hoo hoo. That could have been anything, folks. That was coming in with it. Yeah, that could have been anything from a grass carp, common carp, a buffalo, big old channel catfish. They're all down here on the mighty, mighty Mississippi, down by the Arch in St. Louis. Yeah, there's some monster fish down here, folks. For the longest time, only a few miles upriver, you had the world record blue cat. Now that's been broken, of course, now, but she was here for a long time. Yeah, we're just using Carolina rigs out here, folks. Pretty much night crawlers on the bottom. You'll get pretty much everything to hit these guys. And look at that, about to clean that bait off. Had a ton more worm on there. It's going to be one of these days where I can barely keep up with the rods. And those worms are dug down on the bottom. And they feel this heat, folks. They are going for the bottom. As the day gets on, I'm gonna extend this umbrella back a little bit. That way I can move a little bit closer to you guys. But for now, it's just it is way hot to be sitting out here in the sun. I'll sit out here with you guys for a few minutes, but man, is it friggin' hot. That's a pop on that one. I just looked away from her and she, yep, well, I see her. Pop. These can be anything, folks. I've had stripers pecking on it down here. I've had 20-pound blue cat just barely move that rod tip. Looks like you might be on there. Oh, dude, seriously, what the heck was that line? Uh, man, I hate it when it does that. Crap. Let me see if I can get a hold of that line. That's why we keep two rods out, folks, because you never know when something's going to happen. And what happened there, folks, was she broke at the base of the reel. Let me see if I can hook that stuff. The current's probably pulled her down there already. I check my line for grooves, folks. I do. But if there's a groove 30 feet down into the spool, there's no way I can tell it's there. We might just get our other rod out here, folks. And I got snagged while I was trying to do that. Great. Yeah, I always keep an extra rod ready to go. We'll probably hook that line sometime today. Speaking of which, ah, come here. Gotcha. Gotcha, buddy. So at least we're not littering up the river. Now that happens sometimes, folks. You'll get a groove in your line, and that'll be down in the reel. At least we're not littering up the river. I'll take that home with me. But for now, we're just gonna break out our little backup Ozark trails. Don't have a choice. And this one's got 6-pound test on it, opposed to the 10-pound of the other reel. But I got 20 on the Big Mad Cat series. I'm gonna get some bait back on this, get back into the water, and we'll get back into chat, folks. Ah, the 21 incredible people and a 22 thumbs up. Those are just awesome numbers, my friends. It's a hot one, folks. Yeah, we've got a red quality air day as well, because all that humidity and everything is knocking all that pollution right back down in our faces. It's probably yellow down here on the river, but you get a little better air quality when you're down here. And I hit something right there, so I got to watch what I'm doing. Yeah, that's unfortunate. That one's going to be out of commission for a while until I at least get her rig back up. That's why I always keep an extra rod on hand, rigged up, just in case that kind of crap happens. And look at that. That worm was chewed off out there while I was. Dang it. That thing didn't hit the bottom up more than a couple times. Something grabbed her when I was trying to get the line back in the other reel. These guys are sneaky folks. They will. They'll take your bait off and you won't even know it. Let me know if that audio is okay, folks. This is a new mic feed. I don't know how she's going to be reacting. She's brand new, so I don't know how she's going to be doing. All right. Rods are back out, folks. Hope you guys enjoy the show today. Happy Monday, by the way. Happy Monday. Let me get the sweat off my brow from doing that crap. Sheesh. Got a river just pouring down my brow here. Let's see, we want to go to this. No, we don't want to go to that. Oh yeah, no, we don't. Why'd you go to this? There we are. Yeah, this sucker always acts weird down here, folks. There's a bite on the big rod again. Man, they don't want to let up right now, folks. Hey, everyone. See, Chris says, oh, Ruth says hi. And Pierre, how you doing today, Pierre? Pierre says hi. And James. How you doing today, Jamie? Jamie also says hi. Green River. How you doing today, Green River? Green River says howdy, Mike. Chris says Pierre. And Justin. Fishing with Justin says hi. And Kid. How you doing today, Kid? Kid says hi, everyone. And Yukon. How you doing today, my friend? Yukon says, MVP, long time. Yep, long time no see, Yukon. I've been in the hospital for about 2 weeks. Get some kidney stones removed. Let's see, 23 incredible people and 25 thumbs up. That's just awesome, my friends. I hope you guys are enjoying the show today. Come on, fishies. Oh, there's a bite on a small rod. Pop, 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 pop. If he's coming in with it again, that line's going slack. No? Looks like he dropped it. Yep, cleaned it. Yeah, fishing in this stuff is one thing, folks, but the work necessary to do a stream is another. Just running back and forth between the rods can be tough. And this was getting a peck bite over there too. So let me. Huh, what the heck? That's on some rocks. Yeah, that was. It's on some friggin' rocks. Come off though. Luckily, I'm gonna have to watch that. There might be some snags or rocks or something over there. I'm gonna have to cast her a little bit further to the right. I was wondering when I was gonna hit that stuff. That tells me that's the limit of how far I can cast her up current. Keeping an eye on that rod, folks. And I'm sorry, right now I cannot keep my bait out there, folks. It's gonna die in like 20 friggin' minutes if I leave it out there in the sun. Heck, I'm not even gonna make it if I sit out here in this stuff. All right, that's on the bottom. Can't do anything more than that. And this one drifted just a little bit too far. If I knew it. And we got some snags and stuff out here right now, folks. Crap. Tell you what, I didn't set the hook into that, so let's see if something pulls it off. It's gotta still have bait on it. Let's just open that bail a little bit. Give her a chance to run. There is one snag out here, one piece of wood. It might be at just about a wrong level. Because that one piece of wood is right where the back current turns. And it could be at just that level to where it's you can't cast over here right in this spot. If anything, I'll probably have to cast over that way. All right, it does give me an opportunity to talk to you guys, and I can rig up back up this other rod. see, Chris. See, Edwin, what's going on? How you doing today, Ed? Ed says, hello, Mike. How you doing today, Ed? Kid says, good. How about you? Little hot. Hip. My kidneys are still healing up. The left one's still pretty sore. Let's see. 417. How you doing today, 417? 417 only Finn says hi. Chris says, hey, kid. Rude. How you doing today, Rude? Rude is in the house. Rude says MVP. Chris says 417. Chris says Rude. Rude says Chris. Kid says Chris. See, Finn says Chris. How's everyone today? Hopefully all staying cool. Yeah, everyone but us dumb YouTube anglers out here, right? You guys get to stay cool and at home. And let us roast our nubs off. Edwin says hello, everyone. Root says 417. Root says Edwin. Chris says Edwin. Root says kid. Finn says rude. And Theme, how you doing today? Theme says, where are you at? This is the mighty, muddy Mississippi River down by the Arch in St. Louis. You're about a quarter mile up there from the Arch. And Jacob, how you doing today, my friend? Let's see, says a little small for those river. Well, that far rod is a Big Mad Cat Series rod. That's a 8-foot heavy duty. And that Ozark Trails, I consistently land 20, 30-pound carp on her all the time. I like to challenge myself, folks. I've been fishing this river for years, so these big ones, they're not much of a test if I'm using a 10-foot rod with a 100-pound test. It's bite on the far rod. Popping it pretty good. Yeah, they just don't like this bigger weight. I was afraid of that when I got down here. There are times when this current is just not pulling hard enough for them to fully commit to this big rod. Yeah, these guys are so super sensitive, folks. They will just peck on it for a moment, and if they peck on it for a couple of times, I'll try to snap that hook, but yeah, but he probably got the bait off. Yeah, this is a big old Mad Cat Series rod here. Yeah, it feels like he cleaned that bait off. He did it again. And these suckers are good, folks. Yeah, the biggest I've got on that Ozark Trails combo was well, the one I got last year was that one flathead I got over 50 pounds. That was on the little Ozark Trails with a little piece of skipjack herring right by the bank. Now, mind you, at one point I did have to kind of grab that line and pull. Luckily, that 8-pound test I had on it at that time didn't snap, because that fish basically eventually just sat on the dang bottom. Yeah, I catch some monsters on these rods, folks. Yeah, we're dripping sweat again, folks. I got to get back here and wipe my brow again underneath the umbrella. Temperature's about 95 degrees out here. Heat index is well into the hundreds because the humidity is up into the 80s. Not much of a breeze to speak of down here, so man, is it friggin' sweating my tootski off down here. The only way you can take it down here in this stuff is to get underneath some shade. Bambi, how you doing today, Bambi? Bambi says, howdy, y'all. Blessing 31. Double tap the screen for MVP. Thanks so much, Bambi. And Manu. How you doing today, Manu? Manu says hi. And see, Theme says, where I fishing? What state? This is Missouri. So we're in St. Louis, Missouri. And we up the mighty Mississippi. You got it right. And Lucy, how you doing today, Lucy? Lucy says hello. And the fishing doctor. Fishing doctor sent the let's see, the good luck coin, my friend. I appreciate that, my friend. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That is so awesome for sending that for sending those jewels. And Ben, how you doing today, Ben? Vince asks, does anyone know anything about the Penn Battalion 2.1? Yeah, I'm thinking of getting it, but I can't find any good info on it. Oh boy, you mean the Penn? Well, I haven't heard anything about that one. Now I do know about the small, the recent, the earlier version of it, but I'm afraid I haven't heard anything about the newer one. Let's see. Doctor says hi. Chris says Lucy. Bambi says Doc Nights. Chris says, hey Ben. And battalion is a highly used in Europe. Yeah, I'd listen to Chris. He's pretty good outdoorsman. He knows his gear. Edwin says hello, Mike. And says okay, thanks, Chris. And Simba. How you doing today, Simba? Simba says, oh, what's going on? We're trying to catch some fish out in this super heat out here. Temperatures well up into the upper 90s. Heat index pushing her well into the hundreds. Getting some bites. There's another bite on the. Got him, folks. Fish on. I pulled off. No, I still got him. I think I still got him. Man, he was buried in the rocks. Sheesh. Well, I thought I had a big one. That's only about a half-pound channel catfish. Still, good first fish. We'll take her, folks. That's not that's still a kitten, but barely. That's on its way to becoming a cat. We'll take that first fish of the day, folks. Yeah, I don't have to worry too much about the fins on this guy because he's getting big enough to where I can not worry too much about him. Our first fish of the day, folks. Nice little half-pound channel catfish. About the same size as we get at the parks up here in the greater St. Louis area. This is about the size of the ones they stock. Yeah, that's a gorgeous little channel catfish, folks. Beautiful guy. Oh, yeah, this guy is mean, dude. He's been biting my finger since I caught him. Sheesh. And I gotta wash you off. I hate having to wash the dang on kittens off. Little suckers. Get gunk all over them. Hey, cool little first fish, folks. Gotta love it. And that is actually what they consider to be keeper size in the St. Louis area. Yeah, they get much bigger in these parks, but this is the size they stock. So now this isn't a stock fish. All right, buddy, let's get you back in the water. See you, buddy. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Appreciated. Yeah, I don't like to keep them out of the water too long, especially in this heat. Now, the bigger ones can take it a little bit longer, but not much. And I drop you guys right in the friggin' sand. I hate when I do that. And one good thing is our with this little bit of shade coat I made, at least we can withstand these stupid heat for a while. I don't know how long this I can take it, folks. I really don't. We're gonna take this as long as we can. I unfortunately had to move out of my house and go into the basement because it was too hot upstairs. Now, I did have an AC last year, but some numbnuts up the road, tell you, he stole it right out of my dang old window. Like, why don't you call the cops? Well, the guy was just in jail friggin' what 2 weeks ago from breaking into a store and he's already out. So that's gonna tell a lot about stealing an air conditioner out of someone's window. They didn't care about that. In North St. Louis, they got much pressing matters to attend to than basically burglary. Not robbery, just burglary. Burglary is about like 48 hours and see Simba. Edwin says, "Hey, princess, how you doing, princess?" Princess says, "I hope everybody's having a great and wonderful day." Awesome, my friend. I hope everyone's having a great and awesome day as well. And thank you so much for that comment. Chris says, "Hey, princess," and Bambi says, "Hi, guys, and thank you for coming in blessings." Chris says, "Fish on." Bambi says, "Let's go." Let's see. Ruth says, "Yes." I thought that was bigger. She had me stuck in a rock for a minute there. I have the pen battle 4, and it's lasted a few years, so I trusted the battalion. Got you, my friend. Bambi says, "Hi, Ruth. How's channel coming along?" Chris said, "Yep, one small catfish." That wasn't that small, Chris. Then says, "I'm on the North Cal beach, so it's cold here." I hate you. I'm kidding. Let's see, Zyro. What's going on? How you doing today, Zyro? Zyro with the shout out. And Kid says, "One channel catfish." Well, I would like to pin that up. I don't want to pin up the laughing emoji there, Chris. And there we are. There we go. Hey, that's our first fish. I'll take her, folks. And this friggin' stuff, I'll take her. And my umbrella's trying to fall down. Let's see, Chris says, "Zyro and Rubberneck. How you doing today, Rubberneck?" Rubberneck with a thumbs up. And Magoo. How you doing today, Magoo? Magoo says MVP. Bambi says, "Where's the NorCal Ben?" And says, "I'm planning on using it for saltwater and Shimano reel." Now, that sounds good. Shimano's reels are always a good one. And it says North Cal and Northern California. And he says, "Nice, Rubberneck, and thank you." It says very average sized catfish, guys, not small. Yeah, a lot of the times the ones I get down here are 15, 20 pounds. So now a lot of them I also get are like 2 inches long. So that's a bite on that big rod again. Popped it a couple times. Let's see. Bambi says, "Cool, wow. Oh, I'm from Florida." As if he's thinking about it. He was thinking about it there, folks. Oh man, just those are bites I've got to watch out for, folks. The ones that are just barely moving that rod tip, because a lot of those can be really big ones. I don't know if I should put a smaller weight on here or not. The only problem is if I put a smaller weight on, I'm going to work down here into the current, which it might be a good thing, it might be a bad thing. I'm going to keep the bigger weight on for now. Switch to a smaller one as the day goes on. Yeah, nothing's pulled that one rod off since it got snagged. It might be a little bit unfortunate. Might have to break that line off on that one. But hey, it looks slack. Hey, no, pulled off, folks. We got a fish on as well. Hey, a fish pulled us off. Second fish of the day. Awesome, my friend. Just in time for a big old barge. That's about a half-pound drum. That cool freshwater drum, folks. Our second fish of the day. We're catching fish, folks. Yeah, this was snagged for about a half hour. She finally pulled, well, about 15, 20 minutes. She finally pulled us off. Go little fishy, folks. Gotta love it. Gotta love it, my friends. These guys are just awesome. I love these guys. They hit all year long, and you got yourself mucked up. I gotta wash you off now, dummy. And drummer. The drummer drum. I love it, my friends. Gotta love it. All right, let's get the hook out of you, buddy. Let's see, where have you got it? Up right in the top of the jaw. Perfect. See it right at the top of the jaw there. No muss, no fuss, no blood. All right, buddy. See ya. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Appreciated. Now, what I tell you about leaving that rod set there for a couple minutes, that sucker pulled us off. All right, we're up to one freshwater drum and one channel cat. Good start on the day, folks. Good start on the day. Yeah, this was getting snagged right in front of me, so I either cast it out further, in which case it's just going to rip it down the current, or cast it over here to the left. I'm going to cast it over here to the left instead. The only problem with casting over here to the left is the current fluctuates on occasion, so I'm going to have to kind of manage that rod and make sure she stays tight. And I even get my other rod back out. You see now why I use the smaller rods too, because unfortunately, a lot of the fish you get down here are small, but a lot of ones you get are big as well. So you got to use the smaller rods sometimes to get those smaller fish to hit and to hook them. Now you can get them to hit anything. It's just hooking the little stinkers is a nuisance. And I do apologize for that reel making that ruckus, folks. I sprayed her down with WD-40, cleaned her out, but put new gun oil in her, and she's still acting like that. I don't know what the heck to do with her. I just don't know. I don't know, folks. And we're trying to get my rock set up here again. My umbrella was starting to fall down. All right, there we go. Up, right on that close rod, far rod already. Man, that sucker hit it fast. Got him, folks. Oh, pulled off. Man, that felt bigger. Dang it. See what I'm telling you about those little peck bites? That little ping ping maybe just barely wobble on that tip. Crap. That was bigger, folks. Helicopter, helicopter, helicopter. I'm using too many of these worms up right now, folks. I'm getting bites so quick I can barely keep up with them. Gonna have to kind of try to make do with a few smaller red worms. I only dig 70 night crawlers down here, and these guys, they'll eat you out of house and home as fast as you can get the lines out. Oh, there's a bite on that one. I see him. Got him, folks. Fish on. Fish on. We got him. What do we got? Hey, a blue cat. That's our third species of the day. You see why I use the smaller hooks and weights, white folks? Because these guys are pretty much impossible to hook on bigger equipment. Until you catch these guys out of there, you're able to get anything else. That's a cool little blue cat, folks. Awesome little blue. Hi, kitten. Hi, buddy. Man, don't use your claws on me, buddy. I'll get you back in the water here in just a second. And you got her right in the jaw there. Gotcha, buddy. All right. One look at you before we get him back in the water. Gorgeous little blue cat. Imagine these guys get over 100 pounds. All right, buddy. See ya. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Appreciate it. There he goes. Right back into the depths. Yeah, that barge is going to make a freaking wave here and a half here in just a plug minute, isn't it? Wow, it's hot, folks. I must be crazy being out here in this weather. But I do love fishing, and I do love chatting with you guys. Yeah, I haven't gotten these rods back out. And these guys can keep you running. Yeah, there are much bigger fish in here, folks. Don't you worry. Yeah, we're gonna get her out a little bit deeper. That's about maybe 4 or 5 feet deeper. That's about 8 or 10 feet deeper because it's a massive drop off right here. It's a little sandy bar and then it plummets out deeper. And we are right at that edge, folks. Because if I hit those rocks, that means that's right where that rock face is, and she goes deeper way quick. Right in that location. All right. Back into shade. Tell you what, if you want to work out, folks, come down here and try this stuff out. Let's see. Here we are. Let's see. Ruth says, I'm gonna try to post. And Bambi, thanks for asking. Yeah, if you make a few extra short feeds, before, during, and after, like the live stream that you're on, even if you don't not making that live stream, just a quick short feed afterwards, that'll help you get some extra subs there. Let's see. Zyro says fish on. Bambi says woo. Bambi says they're pretty. And Care Bear, how you doing today, Care Bear? Care Bear says hi. Kid says one channel catfish, one freshwater drum. Well, I've got a lot of chat to get. You may have to post that again here when I catch up, because the only way to pin that is to catch up with that particular location. Let me see if I can do it a little later. Let's see, Bass Fishing. How you doing today, Bass Fishing? Bass Fishing says what's up. Bambi says let's go. Bass Fishing says and gals. Chris says Care Bear. Let's see, Sandy. How you doing today, Sandy? Sandy says hi. Bambi says hi, Bass, and thank you, blessed day. Bambi and Sandy, you too, and thank you for coming in. Bambi with the shout out. Bambi says woohoo, let's go. Let's see, Chris, awesome, my friend, with the 10. Count them 10 gifted memberships, my friends. Let's see, Zyro got one. Rubberneck got one. Care Bear got one. Chloe also got one. Let's see, Raptor got another. Let's see, Tank got one. Bolt got another. Some awesome people. Mom and Dad also got one. Let's see, Shane got one. Let's see, and Arizona. All got free memberships. That deserves a meow. Meow. Oh, boy. Thank you so much, Chris. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's see, Rubberneck says nice, Chris. By the way, we do members only live feed sometimes. I put members only videos out and members only shorts out quite a bit. Bambi says, looking good in green, guys. Woohoo! That kid says, one blue cat. One channel, I'm like, Bambi says, dang, Chris. Wow, and generous. Chris says, Mike deserves it. Thank you so much, Chris. That's just awesome to hear, my friend. And Terry says, hey, howdy. And see, Lower Michigan also sent the gems with the star gems. Thank you so much, my friend. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Chris says Terry. Lower says hi, buddy. Bambi says Michigan, nice. Lower Michigan says Bambi. Let's see, Zyro with all the cool member emojis we've got. And let's see, Beast Within. Beast Within says hello, catching some fish fillets. Hey, they're actually pretty good eating. When you get them up to about 2 or 3 pounds, they taste pretty nice down here. And if you want to put that up again, kid, I will pin that. But we just got caught up in chat, and that's where she's going to be over here on the cell phone. I can try to find that back in the chat, but let's see if I can find her here. Yep, I found her. There we go. Thank you, kid. Appreciate it, my friend. There we go. Hey, we're catching fish, folks. Can't complain. It's 108-degree heat index right now, so it's pretty freaking hot. Let's see, Bambi says, double tap the screen for MVP. 30 so far. 3 so far. You got it right. Or Mrs. Gibbons says, don't forget to tap the screen. And bless your heart. I do appreciate that, my friend. Hope you're enjoying the show today. I was just curious, folks. All right. I was just curious how this light works, actually. That's a big one. You see that right in front of us? Ooh, that was a big one. I'm only curious as to how I turn this on or off. Is it just a push button thingy that I push on here that turns it on and off? But does that mute the mic? That probably mutes the mic. 38 incredible people in it, seeing 46 thumbs up. Awesome, folks. Yeah, with that fish in there that close, I've got to put this closer rod, this smaller rod in here close, because that fish wasn't but 4 feet out from the bank. And that was a problem with casting over there. Even over there, folks, I'm getting snagged. Dang it. I shouldn't have got snagged on that cast. I'm way over there to the left. Oh, there's a bite on the big rod. I saw him. Popped it a couple hard times. Yeah, they just don't like that big weight. I think I'm going to put a smaller weight on here. All right, where are my smaller weights? We're going to go to a half ounce rather than an ounce. I think that will suffice in this current. She's going to roll a little bit, but unfortunately, that's going to be the problem here with this spot. Is that yep, cleaned it. Just a couple of quick little peck bites, and she'd already gotten cleaned. And that's 20-pound test, folks. I think I might need to do something with that. Put that up with our other gear. Make sure I don't lose that. I don't want to lose those weights. That landed right by my bucket, so I can grab that and put that right back in. I'm just putting a smaller weight on here because unfortunately, it looks like the current's ripping, but they don't want to touch a heavier weight, which is oftentimes the case down here. You'll have a lot of anglers fishing this spot, and they get very spooky of weights. So you basically have to drift fish by them. You've got about 3 to 4 minutes between points, between where you cast it and where it's going to be in too shallow for them to hit it. It's a big fish right over there to the right. Man, that sounded like a striper in there. Sheesh. There's a gully over here. That fish was inside of it. All right, we just put on a little smaller weight, folks. Hope you guys are enjoying the show today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Yeah, I'm going to have to snap this one off, this smaller rod, because that one is not coming off. I'm afraid that one is toast. And that was cast way too far up current. Dang it. Can't get that quite where I want her. Yeah, this one got pulled off. Never mind. Something must have hit it again down there. That's the only time that'll come off of a snag like that, when something hits it. You notice all the bait's gone. I thought I set the hook into that too hard, and I thought that was not going to come off, but apparently I was wrong. I want these guys in closer, folks, because these fish seem to be in very, very close to the bank. Within a few feet of the shoreline. Just extremely close. All right, that settles. Pretty good. Those rod tips up. And it's actually holding okay out there. I wonder if it's snagged. No, it's not snagged. I just moved it very, very lightly on the bottom, just like an inch or two. Sometimes if you hold in a spot, you're snagged. A lot of times the fish will pull you off, but a lot of times they won't. See, Lower Michigan says, don't forget to double tap the screen. And Lucy with the unicorn emojis. Chris says, BRB, be right back. Time to walk the dog. That means he's got to go take a pee. He lies his butt off. It's a kid with a thumbs up. See 51 incredible people in it. Seeing 50 thumbs up. It's just awesome, my friends. I hope you guys are enjoying the show today. Yeah, that small rod was snagged. So you see how they're hitting. That fish actually pulled me off the snag again. And let me know if you guys would rather have the mic feed on or the mic feed off with just the background audio of the waves and stuff. See, Robert's back in. Robert says hi. How you doing today, Robert? And Bonnie says hello, everyone. New here. Blessings to everyone. Awesome people to come in, Bonnie. Hope you enjoy the show today. Yeah, we're a positive fishing channel. Oh, there's a bite on the close rod. Try to keep the positive vibes going. And see if we can come out here and catch some fish. So far, we've caught 3 different species. Freshwater drum, a channel catfish, and a blue cat. That was something pecking on that pretty good. Let's see, what did he do to it? Man, they are just tearing them worms to pieces today. These are garden variety worms. These aren't like store-bought worms. You know, they'll tear store worms to pieces. These guys aren't store-bought. These things are tough as rubber. And they squirt a lot. A whole heck of a lot. And I just mentioned that because this little sinker squirted right in my glasses. By the way, if you ever use garden variety worms, you might want to wear sunglasses. Because they will squirt you right in the daggone eye. That finally drifted down the current. No bites, though. You know, feels like bait's gone. Well, no, the bait's still on there. And we're just going to refresh this worm. We're not going to take this off because this is a fresh worm. See him pecking on it. Peck, peck, peck. Very lightly. Yep, he's still pecking on it. Too far to the left. What is wrong with this stupid reel today? I see him pecking on it too. I'm trying to get the other rod out. Ping, ping, ping. Just some massive fish out here right now, folks, and I've got to get by these little ones first. He's on there, folks. Fish on. Got him. Hey, and on the blue boy. Boy, you talk about something. I'm not going to do it, folks. We got plenty of night crawlers. But man, you talk about some cut bait, folks. Man, that is a bite and a half. That is one of the smallest drum I've caught down here in years. I've caught them smaller in cast nets, but geez Louise. You believe these guys get like 50 pounds down here? It's a little stinker. And you wonder why I keep those smaller hooks on. Well, he's a pretty little guy before he got in the sand. Beautiful little silvery guy. He got all sandy and mucky. You, buddy. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. Every fish gets its thank you on YouTube if it lets me hook it. Now, if it doesn't let me hook it, I'm feeding. It should be happy. Now, that's kind of where I've been trying to get her. I clean this reel out good too, and she is still not casting with a dang. See, reel's great, or drag is great. It's just I can't get rid of that crap. And I put fresh oil into her. I put fresh fresh grease into the parts that need grease. This doesn't make any dang sense why that reel won't stop doing that. Oh, thought I heard a rod go. Dang it! Thought I heard a rod go. Just I can't hold here in the right spot without a bigger weight, and they just will not hit a bigger weight. They just been like that today. Bite already. Ping, ping, ping. Come on. Come on, you little stinker. That one's not on there, but still, that's how fast it took to get a bite. Someone fishing down here with the wrong hooks would think they're getting bites constantly and can't hook any of them, and wondering what they were getting. And that's drifted all the way down there again. Look how shallow this line is. With anything less than an ounce of weight, I cannot hold, and anything over a half ounce, they won't hit. They're usually not like this. When you see them busting the surface, like that, they usually don't care about the size of weight. They, I guess, is a little bit different. I suppose with that heat index being the way it is, I guess they're a little bit suspicious of hitting those weights. Now, there's not much audio down here, anyways, folks. Uh, there's a little bit of water sound from the water, but you have to get really, really close. And there's no wind as a bite on that. I see him pecking on it. And why is it holding onto the stick? Stupid thing. Got caught on the stick. Cute. That's snagged up, of course. And that's the current ripping her to the left now. Huh. And we're gonna have to let that one get pulled off again, because over here I'm just must be right on top of that tree. I'm actually kind of glad I got this one out of the water, because with the way that current changed on me, it would have ripped me right in the snag in the other direction. Yeah, the only reason why you guys aren't seeing the bucket and everything right now is because I've got her in the shade. The only shade I could create down here. It looks kind of dumb on live feed seeing a guy crouched underneath an umbrella. So I figured I'd do that off feed. This line is falling out. The sucker should cast perfectly, but it's not casting. All right, folks. Both rods are, that one's going to have to set there. It's going to have to get pulled off again. Either that, I'm going to have to break her off in a couple minutes. Drink a soda here. Yeah, I came down here with ice, a cup filled with 90% ice and just a little bit of soda in it. And she's already melted. Let's see with the unicorn emojis, kid with the thumb up. Robert says hi. Let's see, Bonnie says, oh no. He says, nice, go get him. And Hassan. How you doing today, Hassan? Hassan says hi. Chris says hello, Bonnie. Welcome in. Enjoy the show. And Mitt. How you doing today, Mitt? Mitt says he loves fishing. Well, we've got that in common, my friend. Bonnie says, thank you, Chris. I love fishing. So we are enjoying it. That's awesome to hear. That's one of the things I love to hear is people enjoying the feed. Chris says Hassan. Chris says, good to hear, Bonnie. It says, let him eat it. These guys, they will peck until the bait's gone. I mean, you literally have to set the hook on them. But see, I don't like fish sticks. With the cat shout emoji. Bonnie says, gotta do what you gotta do to stay warm. I've done it in the garden. Bonnie says, cool, I mean. I got that. Let's see, Chris says, it's getting too hot. We will see if MVP goes swimming. And it ain't fall off. The back cove over here to the left is extremely, as long as I stay within about 3 or 4 feet of the shoreline, it'd be perfect. It says, I've caught so many fish, including massive rainbow trout. Awesome to hear, Mitt. I don't get many rainbow trout, only during the wintertime when they stock the lakes. I've gotten some big rainbow trout, but those are stocker fish. There's a massive difference between stocker trout and wild. Let's see, Chris says, thank you, Mitt. Let's see, Lucas, how you doing today, Lucas? Lucas says, hello. Let's see, Mitt says, thanks. Let's see, Lower Michigan has the #1 crown. 417 only Finch has #2 and Mitt has #3. That's because Chris is walking his dog. Ergo, he's taking a pee. Chris says hello, Lucas. Well, you should have taken back over the crown, unless you were out of the chat for a while. All right, so you're number 7, Chris. That's interesting. Let's see. Mitt says, go to Pascos. That's where they stock all of them. Hey, they stock them up here during the wintertime. O'Fallon Park in St. Louis, Missouri. They stock some nice like pound to 7 or 8 pounders. The majority of them in like the pound range. Lucas says hello, Dad. Chris says what's up, MVP. It says in the river they also breed, and that's where they all come from, in the rivers. Gotcha, my friend. And there goes a truck driving by the tracks up there. I'll be coming on the feed in just a second. That is a railroad track up there. We haven't seen any trains going by yet today, but there's usually some. See 30 incredible people in it, seeing 55 thumbs up. Awesome, folks. Come on, big fishies. I know they're here. I mean, I can see them busting the surface. Let's see Chris with a massive amount of pink poo emojis. Dude, I hope you cleaned up after that. That's like seriously ick, dude. Doing that on my live feed, Chris. Blech. What did you eat? Ugh. Blech. Whatever it was, I wouldn't eat. I won't eat it. You wouldn't eat it again. That's like blech. Blech. Honestly. Sensitive. So sensitive. See, it says they're also about 10-pound bass in one of the lakes. Nice. I've only got recently. I've only got about 7 pounds in our local lakes. Now I've got stripers down here, well in excess of 18 to 20 pounds. They get massive down here in the river. We've only caught them like 8 pounds this year. So let's see. Bombi says on the emoji again. Let's see. It says I've caught him before. Chris says I leave the cleaning up to you, MVP. No, thank you. See, it says he's also very picky. It says, are you in Durango? No, we're down on the mighty, muddy Mississippi River down in St. Louis, Missouri, my friend. SC Creech says, it's a bit of a. Oh, boy. So I can use the help cleaning up, Mike. Boy. Oh, what is wrong with you, Chris? I left my lighter up there, and I was sitting in the shade for a while, setting up the camera. So I'm going to have to. I'll be right back, folks. It's just a quick little 30-second walk. We might go off feed because I got to climb up these rocks. I mean, audio might go off here for just a moment. You'll let me know if something pulls in the rods. I was setting up right up. Yep, there it is. I see it now. I see it. And me to get a bright red and blue lighter so I can see it. Yeah, I could consider doing a live stream from up here. Like I could put the rods up and walk up here. No one would ever know it, but I wouldn't do that to you folks. If you're going to sit in the sun, so am I. At least partially in the sun. I mean, dude, you can wear sunblock. All right, folks, we're back. I'm sorry if we went off my feet for just a moment there. Those rocks are pretty steep behind us. See, Bonnie says, "Did you eat the lettuce?" No, I didn't eat the lettuce. Chris says, "So no, it's probably from Taco Bell." And that's very possible. It says, "I live in see, sorry, couldn't catch my breath in this heat. Let's see, Pagosa. It says nice. It says the bridge looks like the Durango because that's a common type of bridge for railroading. You got it right, my friend. There's a decent amount of trains that go up and down every day. Oh, no worries, Bonnie. I'm quite a bit of a joker as well. We try to keep a positive chat. I mean, once you get in here and get everyone accustomed to you, you can kind of joke around with the with our common moderators that tend to come in quite a bit. We try to keep things on a real positive nature, keep things running good. See 48 incredible people in it, seeing 56 thumbs up. That's just awesome, my friends. See, Chris says, if Mike sets me loose, I'm a big joker. Don't set him loose, Bonnie. I have him chained up with several tons on him. He's escaped on multiple occasions. Don't let him loose, please. Let's see, Mitch says you have a rod exactly like mine. Let's see, which one? The Ozark Trails combo there, the close one, or the far one, that Crazy Cat series? Let's see. Bonnie says, "Okay, I'll be respectful." Yeah, just don't let Chris loose. It takes me like 3 hours to catch that man. Oh, the orange one. Yeah, that's a $10 Ozark Trails one from Walmart. I've caught some massive fish on that rod. I've caught 20, 30 pound grass carp. I've landed several blue cat over 20 pounds. Let's see, Lou the Chicken Dude. How you doing, Chicken Dude? Chicken Dude says hi. Chicken Dude says hi again. Let's see, Briart. Briart says, hey, buddy. How's your day been? Hot. Hey, but we're catching fish. We're down here on the river. I'm in here with chat. You guys enjoying the chat with everyone. Bonnie's laughing her butt off. Chris says, what are the keys for? The 36 chains behind you, plus yeah, there's a few extras in there. I'm sure you do unspeakable things with them. Unspeakable. Miss says, that's how I catch all my fish. Yeah, light gear, light river. Oh, there's a big one just busted up right behind you guys. Man, I wish I had the camera, the mic feed off, because that was within 4 or 5 feet of the man. See, Chris says, thank you, thank you, thank you. And he's also laughing his butt off. I got him laughing his butt off, and he's got a lot of butt to laugh off. If you've ever seen Chris in his live feeds, you would know what I mean. And that's still snagged, I'm afraid. That did not come off. So that's probably going to get broken off when I recast this. And this is cleaned. Yep, that's been torn to pieces out there. Something's been gnawing on that considerably for quite some time. Yeah, look at that. That's how tough these worms are to get off. And the problem with this smaller weight. I put the smaller weight on because I couldn't get those fish to hit completely. Problem is with the smaller weight, I can't hold it all. I mean, I went from from an ounce to a half ounce. A half ounce is too big. They don't want to hit the dang thing. I mean, yeah, the ounce is too big. They don't want to hit it. And the half ounce is too small. The current picks it up and pulls it. But at least we're getting bites out there. So let me. Dang, that taut line is tough right there. Sheesh. Ah. Mm. All right, let's put the bigger weight back on. It's the only thing I can think of doing. Because the stupid lighter one won't hold out there at all. I could throw some more chum out here. We have corn grain and soybean from our run down here. We're at a upriver from us. There's a granary, and where they bring that stuff in on the on the trucks and stuff. They lose a lot of that, and you can just pick that stuff up all willy nilly. It's perfectly legal. Yeah, they want you to get that crap out of the way. Had to trim that line a little bit. It's got most of the worm left on it, so I'm just gonna put on a smaller night crawler to freshen her up. Yeah, watch this one get a bite almost immediately once it hits the water. Yeah, I know that reel sucks, folks. I know she sounds like crap, but I've worked on her quite a bit. I don't know what else I can do with her. And unfortunately, we're gonna have to break this one off. I'm gonna have to re-rig this one because this one is not really, dude. Unless she pulls off, which she's probably not gonna. Nah, didn't. I do have everything out here. I just got to re-rig it. Where's all that stuff on my from my other rod? Yeah, there it is. All right, this is the weight. So I got all this stuff pre-rigged. All I have to do is put the stuff back on. That little stinker's tough. You didn't think that friggin' 6-pound test would be that tough. But it is. I'll get this rod right back out here, folks. These fish are in there way close to the bank. It's just I can't seem to. I suppose I could use just a little jig head crawler right by the bank. That would probably keep them getting snagged. But if I keep getting this snagged a couple more times, I'm gonna have to improvise even more. Tying a hook on. Pretty tricky when you've only got one good eye, and even that eye's not doing so great. Retying the leader, and that should work. At this little Ozark Trail has gotten its share of big old fishies, folks. I get some monsters down here. Let's get this back on. Let's get it wormy on here. Someone's going through the trees back there. Could be a deer or something. That's very plausible. Yeah, I'm getting snagged right here, so let me try to keep away from her. Ask her just a little bit further down to the right. Try to see even if I can avoid that stupid little thing. It's just one little tree stump. It's sticking out of the sand. It's actually petrified, folks. It's one of the. I've broken some chunks off and sold that. They're actually pretty valuable. The thing's been there for like centuries or something. Oh, it takes thousands of years for something to become petrified, doesn't it? Smarty pants! Smarty sense, I made it finally! Yes, you did! Chris says, you like big butt, Mike? Why I give live? Oh, boy. Smarty pants says, I've been in so busy lately. No worries, my friend. I know you dropped by and watched them, and I do appreciate you dropping by today. See, Byron says, are you still a little hurt from your crash? Quite a bit, unfortunately. I had to have a kidney surgery done. And that is still hurting pretty good. But hurting at home or hurting down here, I'd rather be hurting down here catching fish and chatting with you guys. Chris says Smarty. And Dana, how you doing today? Dana says yo yo. Smarty says Chris. Chris says Dana. Dana says Chris yo. Chris says, how are you, Smarty? Long time ago. Mitch says, I'm still here. Marty says, yes, it's been a while, but I'm doing fine. Chris is good to hear, Smarty. It says I need a permit to fish and yeah, actually we do need a permit here as well. It's a $14 a year permit to fish regular waters. Now you do need another permit, $13 to be able to fish for rainbow trout as well. But that's where I live, and I use a permit. Yep, I have a permit as well to fish for rainbow trout and for regular fish. See, agree, Chris. Chris says, and we will all want to see Mike fall. I mean, fish. You want to see Mike? Oh boy, I'll get you for that, Chris. Let's see Lucy with the heart emojis. It says, I love a lure that I caught that bass on the size of my phone. Oh, you have a lure that I caught a bass on the size of your. That's awesome. Let's see Byron put the retracted message. Bambi says, double tap the screen for MVP. And it says, good luck. And here comes our first train, folks. Let's see, Bryson says, do you remember me? Definitely, my friend. See, Chris is shouting his butt off. Oh, it's a bite on a big rod. Dang it. I should have. Fish on, folks. That's on my lighter rod. Whoa, dude. Whoa. Whoa. Oh, pulled up. Just snapped. I think she just. Dang it. Actually, she didn't snap. She just popped out. Dang. Shh. I just had that drag set, and he was all the way down there already. Man, that was a massive fish, folks. I don't know what the heck that was. Yeah, with the way that rod just doubled over slowly, I'm afraid that was a big flathead. Because that rod just went down the water real slow. Dang it. That couldn't have been on my bigger rod. No, 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 no. I had to be on my little 6-pound gear. That's the problem with, see, with this heavier line, folks. What problem? You can't use a really lightweight with this 20-pound test because the current will pick it up and she'll pull it off. So you wind up catching all your fish on your smaller rod, which is you can use a smaller weight on it. Because I'm holding in the same spot with an eighth of an ounce on my smaller rod, and I used to have to use an ounce of weight to hold on this bigger rod. That was a big one, folks. That was just, you see her pulling that drag, just, oh, that was fun. I wish I'd have seen her. I think that was a flathead. The way that doubled that rod and just took off on me. Yeah, I'm guessing that was a big old flathead catfish. That rod just went, it just did this, folks. No peck or nothing. Just went straight down to the water. And like I said, there is a big log sitting there. It's very possible for that big flatty to come up and sit right behind her. She would have no trouble with coming into like 4 or 5 feet of water. You could get a 20 or 30-pound flathead in water of and that line didn't break, folks. I mean, that 8-pound that 6-pound test did not break. She just popped out on me, which is another reason why I think that was a flathead. Those flatties are hard to hook sometimes. You got to hook them in the right spots. Those bigger ones, especially. Oh man, that was a heart racer, folks, but heart wrenching and a heartbreaker as well. But we don't let that bother us, folks. Yeah, we don't let that bother us. How many fish we've caught down here on this river? We missed our share. So that was just on a Carolina rig, about maybe 6, 8 inches off the bottom with that little bullet weight. And there's a bite on that one. I saw that. Popped that pretty good. And I cast that just a tiny bit further over to the right, folks. I've been casting my big rod over in that spot for 20 minutes because I knew there was a good fish over there. And he just kept pecking on this big rod. But that big rod, he just took off with it. Man, that was a big one, folks. I had the drag set. I got that drag set real good, and she was peeling out. It just popped out on me. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Now, if that wasn't on stream, no one would have believed that, but yep, it's on stream. I'm actually glad I was sitting right by that rod because I could have lost that one. If I'd have had my back turned, that rod could have went over that stick super fast. All right. Big night crawler. I don't have many of these like foot-long night crawlers. And that's what I expected that rod to do the first time. It didn't. It sat out there. I expected this one to drift. Which is okay. I mean, as long as I get my other rod out first. Yeah, this is 20-pound test, folks. I can stop most fish if they're under about 25, 30 pounds. Pretty good. This 6-pound one, I gotta let them run. I had that drag ready to go, and she was peeling it out. It's just all of a sudden she popped out on me. Like, as soon as I got her ready to where I could fight her, she popped out. All right, both rods are back out, folks. Heartbreaker, but it happens. It's fun to have that rod double over like that little 6-pound test. Man, that was a big one, folks. That was a monster. That's what we're after, though, folks. That's what we're after. Please don't spam chat, folks. Trying to keep under this little umbrella thing that we got. Sorry about missing that, folks. Chris says fish on. And Pup, how you doing today, Pup? Keeping up with the Stardashians. How you doing today, my friend? Stardashian says here, fishy, fishy. And Trucker. How you doing today, my friend? Trucker says hey, hey. Chris says Dashian. Let's see, Chris says Tim. Stardashian says hello, Chris. Keeping up says nice to meet you. Nice to meet you too, my friend. You're having a good day. Let's see, King. And again, please don't spam chat. Let's see, Gator. How you doing today, Gator? Gator says hi. Chris says Gator brother. Gator says Chris. It says I'm going out to the lake by my house today. Awesome to hear, my friend. I hope you catch a monster. Let's see. Chris says, King with the googly eyes. Danny, how you doing today, Danny? Danny Stinger the Manny is in the house. Danny says, hi, Mike and chat. Chris says, Danny. And Mahad. How you doing, Mahad? Mahad says hi. Mahad with the fishy emojis. Mitch says true. Yeah, it does. It happens. I'm afraid it. Every once in a while, you'll get one that just, especially with those big flatties, you can get them hooked, and they just aren't exactly in the right place. Chris says hi, Mahad. Mahad says hi, my friends. How are you, much fish? Let's see, we've caught 4 so far. We've caught 2 freshwater drama channel and a blue cat. We had a big one on. See, Denny says I'm lurking. Bambi, oh boy. Miss Giggy. How you doing today, Miss Giggy? Miss Giggy says hi, Mike. Hi, everyone. Chris says hi, Miss Giggy. Hi with the fishy emojis. Mahad says, oh, good, googly. Miss Giggy says Chris. That's a bite on a big rod. I think that was a, yeah, that's something pulling on her. Well, no, that feels like she snagged. Thank gummit. At least you don't get snagged over here. Oh man, that's one of my only big weights. I wonder why that rod was pulling like that. I can leave her there for a couple of minutes, see if something will pull her off. Well, that kind of stinks. Thanks for coming in, Miss Gigi and Danny. Hope you guys are enjoying the show today. Yeah, we're kind of trying to stay in the shade of this umbrella. Hi, Bambi. How are you doing? Miss Gigi says, vacation time here. Doing good. And he says, so good to hear. Trucker says, whoop, whoop. Then he says, Mike, how many times did you already jump in the water? Not yet, but I did almost fall in once. Yeah, I almost lost my balance there once. Let's see, did 25 likes, right? I don't remember. I know what you gonna talk about. I don't remember saying that about nothing. Let's see. Mitch says, "Where do you go?" Let's see. I'm sitting underneath an umbrella right now. That's all torn up and it looks like crap. So I'm sitting right underneath her to try and stay a little bit cool. And he says, "Hi." Bambi says, "Awesome, Miss Gigi. Can I ask, where are you? What are you doing?" Miss Gigi says, "Heard something about that, Danny." Mitch says, "Okay, sorry. My thing froze." Oh, yeah, that happens sometimes. Sometimes you have to refresh during a live stream. Let's see. Mitch says, I got a 5-pound flathead yesterday. Nice. I'm going to guess that was a flathead. That was in the 20 to 25-pound range. Because with the way that fish, I couldn't stop it. I was about ready to either break that line or bust that rod in two. Miss Gigi says, having the best vacation of my life. Bambi says, wow. It says, I'm using one of my own big weights, too, on my rod. I think I have one more 1 ounce weight in there. Another train, folks. Bambi says, that's so nice to hear, Miss Gigi. Get back a girlity. Have a blessed vacation. Trucker says, stuck grab string in the middle and pull like a bow. An arrow. It really doesn't work actually in like super heavy current. I mean, that works really good in like slow moving to still water. Yeah, this current out here is traveling about maybe 8 to 10 miles per hour. That's in by the shallows. Out there in that heavy current, she's going about 20. And thank you so much. NM, how you doing, MN? MN says hi. Denny said the laughing disco ball. Awesome, my friend. Thank you, thank you, thank you. He also sent the 67. That's awesome. Thank you for the gems. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And let's see the dancing disco three times. See, and the golden coin, the good luck coin. Is so awesome, my friend. And the happy poo emoji. Awesome, Danny. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's see, 46 people in it, seeing 74 thumbs up. Awesome, folks. Hope you guys are up. Three more golden poo emojis. Let's see, Kid says him back. And M sent the good luck coin emoji. Awesome, my friend. And Danny sent more about golden poo emojis. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Bambi says, hey, NM. Nice, Danny. Hi, NM. Welcome. And thank you for coming in. Danny sent the high five emoji. Thank you for that, my friend. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Danny also sent more golden coin emojis. Two more. Awesome, my friend. Odd says, hi, my friend. How are you? Doing all right, my friends. Make sure to give that high five a thumbs up, my friends. And he sent another golden emoji. Awesome. Mahad says, how much fish brub you caught today so far? Let's see, two freshwater drama blue cat in a channel. It says, you're a good fisherman. Thank you so much, my friend. We also had a nice big one on our small rod, but she pulled off on us. And Jeff, how you doing, Jeffrey? Jeffrey just says, and care regardless of let's see, to whomever reads, I'm proud of you and your matter. You love and care about regardless of whom the voice in the back of your head says you're worthless and faithful or a burden. It's a lie. And don't listen. Awesome words to live by, my friend. Let's see, Dorothy. How you doing today, Dorothy? Dorothy says, hello, Mike. Hope you're well. Doing okay, Dorothy. Thanks for coming in, my friend. Hope you enjoy the show. Let's see, Randy. How you doing today, Randy? Randy says, Mike, brother. Chris says, Dorothy. Randy says, Dorothy, hello, sister. Miss Giggy says, Dorothy and Randy. Dorothy says, hello, Chris. And Larry says, oh, boy. Well, when I see you live streaming and catching fish, come back. Try next time. Yeah, unfortunately, this one snagged. I'm going to have to break her off. And this one got snagged out there deep. Snagged on something. And that is, oh, she pulled off. Okay. Probably a rock. Or a stick. Stick bass. Yeah, I hooked that stick. Great job, Michael. I didn't dull the hook. Always check your hooks when you get snagged on something, folks, because your tips can dull up very quickly. That's actually a very good advice, because all you have to do is get snagged on one rock, and that tip can can dull. Now, it might not dull to the point where you miss a fish, but it could. So it's better off if that happens to put a new hook on until you get that hook sharpened back up. I'm just putting a new worm on this one. We got lucky on that one. Get off me, fly. Shoo, fly. Don't bother me. Shoo, fly. Don't bother me. Yeah, I get a little hot out here, folks. You gotta give me a little bit of leeway out here. It's about 95 degrees. The heat index is well up into the hundreds, so a little bit of leeway goes a long way. That's pretty good. That's not out quite as far as the last cast. So much for casting her out there deeper. Yeah, I'm gonna have to put a jig head crawler on this one because this one is getting snagged every single freaking cast down here. It must be right at that point where this little spot comes out down here. Yeah, but I don't think that's coming off again. See, this only works in the you doing this stuff. Doesn't really work because you've got a half ounce or an eighth of an ounce of weight on there to just doesn't work. And it spooks the fish a lot of times because you're fishing in such shallow crap. That one time it come off though. Lucky on that time. What'd it do? Didn't bend the hook. Okay, just come off. Looked like it was snagged in the very edge of that tree. Must have been a rotten part. I'm gonna have to put a jig head crawler on this one if I keep getting snagged like that. It's hot, folks. It is warm. Big old barge across the river. Coming up the river. Big one. Massive. Right in front of us, folks. Most eyes are just sitting right in front of us, and I can't get those suckers to hit. Only way to do it is just cast into that crap and hopefully get a bite. Don't even try to avoid it. That was a bite. Come on, buddy. Oh, man. I'm hoping to hook them on this big rod, but if you let them peck on it, they're just going to peck, 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 and then you bring it in, the bait's gone. Every single time they'll do that. If they're pecking on it, it means at least they got some part of the hook at least near their mouths or in their mouth. If they peck, 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 and the bait's gone, well, then you just lost a worm. Then you just lost a worm. All right, that one's back. And they're hitting in right here freaking close. It's just I can't get them to hit this bigger rod with bigger weight. Now, I'm sorry, folks. I oiled and greased this sucker up as much as I could. It's still doing it. Hit it as soon as it hit the bottom. You know, I'm just lightly pecking on that as she drifts by. And that was it. That's all I had to do. See, when I don't set the hook, what happens? I come in, 90% of that worm is gone. And I hooked that worm extremely good. So if you let them peck on it, your bait's gone. I suppose the difference between fishing for an area where there's only catfish as opposed to where there's a lot of carp, grass carp, and buffalo and drum and other species. Species that normally won't double the rod over. I mean, yeah, sure, if you're using artificial, a striper will double your rod over when it hits. But if you're using like live bait, they could just peck on that. And you never hook the suckers. So I fished in spots where people say, "Oh yeah, I've never caught a striper down there before," because they just don't double the rods over on what they're using for bait. They're using probably live minnows, and they'll just smash that minnow and kill it, smack it a couple times, and they're done. All right, let's get back into chat, folks. Hope you guys are enjoying the show. See 53 incredible people in it. See an 83 thumbs up. Awesome, folks. See Danny Friends of Vaughn. Dorothy says hi, Miss Giggy. See Chris says Randall. Randall says Miss Giggy. Mitt says that is bad. I got it off, luckily. Dorothy says Chris Bro. Let's see, and yep, Vantray. How you doing, Vant? Vant says, how you give a lot good information. Thanks. You're very welcome. That's why one of my playlists is member MVP fishing tips revealed. So I try to talk as much as I can out here. Hopefully you pick. Hopefully I put out a few little tips and tricks that might help you out on your next adventure out on the water. Let's see. Bonnie says yes, another stickfish. Yep, another stickfish. Let's see. Mitch says 36 worms. Yeah, probably. Yeah, they're peeling them suckers off as fast as I can put them on. See, Bonnie says, yeah, better than bottom. I was biting a cat rod again, pecking on it real good. I'm on. Dang it. That's just frustrating when they do that. I mean, I can't hold with anything but a heavier weight. And they just peck that worm until that worm is gone. If I use corn or something out here, they won't really touch it. Anyway, I could put a little bit more bait in the water. Maybe I could draw these guys in closer again. After I missed that big one, maybe I spooked them a little bit. So let me put a little bit more chum in the water. Yep, look at that. 3 peck bites. Half that worm is toast. And just enough of that worm is showing, that hook is showing that they won't touch it. Come on, big guys. I know you're here. I'm seeing you hitting the surface, big ones left and right. They're just being a friggin' nuisance today. They're holding in just the place where I can't hold with a lighter weight with my big rod. I tell you what, if I put anything under 20-pound test on this big rod, I'm going to snap the line setting the hook. That's why people talking about you got kind of small rods. Well, dude, if I use anything lighter than lighter than 20-pound test, I'll break this line setting the hook. It's a pretty big rod, and there's a pretty good peck bite on that. Something started. Picked it up. Come on, buddy, hit it. Fish on, folks. Got him. He was sitting there with it. All right, that's our third freshwater drum of the day. Awesome. That's not what we had earlier, but we'll take it. Yeah, that's a little smaller than the average down here. The average is about a pound. That's about a half pound. So cool freshwater drum. Beautiful fish, folks. Take a look at those silvers. Bright silvers out in this sun. And who don't like drum? I love these guys. Gotta love it, my friends. Gotta love it. All right, buddy. What do you think? We'll get you in here for one close up for you guys, for everyone on YouTube. Gotta love it. All right, buddy. See ya. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, he's just doing a little tail wobber in the shallows. Look at him. Just, well, seen some nice fishing here, really shallow over here. I mean, like, within a few feet of the bank over here to the left. I don't know if that was a gar or catfish. Look almost like channel cat right by the bank. You guys see my arms? I'm roasted out here already. Just setting out here with these rods the smallest amount of time as I can get away with. Now worms are already trying to come to the surface on us, even in the little shady spot I made over here. All right, that looks okay. By the way, if NJ comes in, make sure to wish him a happy birthday. It's Mark's birthday today. I forgot to mention that earlier in the feed. And there's some bubbles right in here, right by the. I can see where that fish is. He's sitting in there right by the bank. Hopefully, if I get another big one, he goes this direction rather than the other way. Snagged up on that rock face again. Dang it. I'm getting off of that stuff, but off and on it. Now, that felt like someone's line that time. Crap. Yeah, that's someone's line. Trying to get this up and out of the way. Whatever it is, getting it off the bottom. Or whatever it was, it's come off. Now I know what that is. That's a tie line. That's someone's anchor. They broke off out here when the water was higher. That's going to be a nuisance to fish in. Oh boy, that's going to be a nuisance to fish in, folks. That's a hard pop. Oh, dang it! Always when I'm trying to do. Hang on, folks. I'm trying. I got that snagged in. That's it's a drop line. That's what that is. That's someone's anchor that they got snagged out there when the water was higher, and that's something I'm going to have to cut loose out there when the water gets lower. I don't like bending these hooks. I can do it only once with these browns. That's why that come off, because the hook bent out. Any more than once, I'm going to have to replace this hook. I know I've got to get this other rod back out again. Just enough of a breeze to blow our umbrella out of the ground. I've got to go put that back in the ground as well. And with the way that current's pulling, unfortunately, that's going to pull that right back down into the spot. So that's going to be a nuisance to fish. It's still not cool enough to put my stuff out here. All my bait's going to die in 30 seconds if I do. All right, that's back. That was flipped in right by the bank too. I could see there's some bubbles in here with something coming in here picking up the corn and the grain and stuff I threw in. Could have been a little further out than that, not much. There's a nice shady spot over there to the left if I wanted to go right over there. We could move over there to the left. I don't do much over there in that area that in this water level because it's all just one flat sandy bank. It's just like a slow, steady falling bank, which doesn't really pose any interest for the fish to come into. All right, folks, let's get back into chat. Hope you guys are enjoying the show today. Folks, let's go snagged as easily. See Bambi with the shout out. Chris says, well, it depends on weight. I'm not free. Let's see. Bonnie says they are watching as the fun uh, as the fish turn on TV. Let's see. Jeffrey says, Bambi, no problem. Just spreading the love. Kindness is a world full of such hate and negativity. Yep, I try to keep away from that crap. I really do. I'll drive a mile out of my way to get away from kind of crap. See Bambi with the fishy emojis. Chris says on the TV, they look at a lot bigger. Miss Kiki says, of course, Chris. Bonnie says, unless you have a small TV. That's true. Bambi says, thank you. World needs more Jeffreys. Jeffrey with the laughing emoji. El Dabo, how you doing, El Dabo? El Dabo says Bambi. Bambi says El Dabo. Bambi says hi, thank you, blessing day. And Jeffrey with the awesome, with the super sticker. Thank you so much, my friend. A $2 super sticker. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Rich says get him. Yeah, we had our big one, I think, for the day. I'm not sure if we're gonna get any more. We had, I think, a big flatty hooked in here right by the bank. She took off on us, and she pulled off before I could land her. Hey, what's going on? Roasting. Yeah, I'm catching. I'm missing some too. There's some big ones out here. It seems like they're holding in just an area where if I use a bigger weight, they won't hit. But if I use a smaller weight, I get them on my smaller rods and I can't hold them. They take off in this current and they go down that way. Let's see Lucy with the heart emojis and the unicorn emojis. Chris with that cool fish on emoji. El Dabo says, Bambi, I was turned into sleepless. Stream for a few minutes the other night. That was instantly. It says I am. Bambi says it was crazy fun. Devil says, heck yeah, a little north of him. Might have driven north to the area and fish with him on these days. Huge pike and walleye there too. Chris says, lovely people. I am out. Have a good one. All right, awesome. What? Oh, yeah, I see him. Thanks, Chris, for coming in. I hope you enjoyed the show today. Got a fish on, folks. That's better, folks. What do we got? What do we got? Boy, that just doubled her. What do we got, folks? Yeah, that's on my little 6-pound test. I ain't seen her yet. And she was doubling like a little flathead. Yeah, you remember that little stick and tree that sets out here, right? I'm fishing right over the top of it. I mean, literally within a few inches of it. Oh, yeah, I love it down here when it's like this. Grassy. All right, a good 8 or 10-pound stiff grass carp, folks. That's a nice grass carp, folks. I think that's a grass carp. Oh, yeah, grassy. What the heck? Yeah, that's a grass carp. Yeah. Oh, that's way bigger than I thought she was. Yeah, strike the 10, more like 15. I just got her head up. Yeah, that's one of our river monsters down here, folks. Took us long enough to hook them. An 8-ounce weight. I got the half-ounce setting right by him. Peck, peck, peck. The bait's gone. Yep, just garden variety night crawlers. Yeah, you get to set up in the shade. I get to roast my butt off down here. Hope you enjoyed the show, Dave. By the way, we are fully monetized, and I am getting paid finally. Yep, I finally got my code in the mail. YouTube's finally paying us. Took me 2 years. Yep, 2 years of struggling to get my ID. No, I got it. Oh yeah, that's a solid 15. Ooh, that's a beautiful. You gotta love these guys, huh? Oh yeah. I'm wearing the mic feed right now. Yeah, so you know how the wind's blowing, the train's going by. I stuck the old $20 mic feed. Like I said, YouTube's paying me. Might as well upgrade the channel. I've got a brand new thing on my bike holding so I can mount the camera to the bicycle. Yep. Most of that's in my savings, making its own money. Man, that is a big old grassy, folks. Easy 15 pounds. I really don't want to get near this other rod because I do not want to test this line. Yeah, she's a lot bigger than I thought she was, folks. Beautiful fish. Come here, big girl. Like I said, I love testing myself with these guys, folks. If I can land a 15, 20-pound grass carp on 6-pound test on an Ozark Trail spinning combo, I can land a 50-pound catfish on my big cat reel. Boy, that is one. Take a look. Now getting a bite on that other rod, too. All right, I just want to make sure that I got to get this one out of the way. All right, that's out of the way, folks. Whoa! Yep, she didn't like that. Ha ha ha! I love it when they do that, especially when I got the drag set right. Woo! And more especially when I'm not standing there and I get soaking wet. Boy, this is so much fun, folks. Beautiful grass carp, folks. Yeah, there are thousands and thousands of these guys down here, and no one knows how to fish for them. They really don't. I mean, you saw that I was using that half-ounce weight right in front of them. Wouldn't touch it. Would not touch it. All right, buddy. You get one. I'll bring her in here and show her off to everyone, and she'll be all yours after I do. Doesn't it piss you off about those fish dead up there? Right up here, you all that smell up there? Yeah, it was like, I would call it like 7 or 8, like 15, 20-pound blue cat. Someone just threw up on a bank up there. Big blues. Yeah, they're pretty much rotting away, but you can still smell them, and their skeletons are still there. But oh boy, I don't know why people do that. Let these fish go, or take them home and eat them, or give them to somebody else. No, no way, because those are only about a week or two old. Yeah, that river's been down for a good month. Oh boy, folks, this is going to be entertaining. Yeah, I can't even get this fish's head in. This is an easy 15. Yep. She ain't ready for it yet, folks. Well, why not do it? It's warm enough. Yep, let's do it, folks. Let's do it, folks. It's over 100-degree heat index. Might as well go in. Yep. Get my feet a little wet here. Yep, Danny wanted to see me go into the water, and he gets his wish. Come here, girl. Get your head in. If she do her thrashing thing, she'd be fine, but she won't turn on her side. And this is only 6-pound test. I can't muscle her in. All right, folks, we might have her. We might have her. Yeah, there she goes. There she goes. Let her do her flapping thing. There she goes, folks. We got her. We got her, folks. And a perfect one for him to keep, too, because this one swallowed the hook on me. Awesome fish, folks. We got him. And we are all wet now, too. Well, the hook is out. Hook is out, folks. The hook is out. Yeah, she got a little deep, so perfect fish for someone to take home, and because these guys have got incredible white meat. Anything under about maybe 20. Oh, yeah, that's about 15. 15 easy, 15, 20. Oh. All right, there we go, folks. You guys have been waiting on screen for her. Yeah, that's about 15 to 20 pounds. Yeah, we cannibalized the shoes. We took the shoes and socks off. Yeah, this is a beautiful sandy beach down here, folks. So gorgeous to do a little wading in. Awesome fish, folks. Oh, that's an easy 15. Gotta love it, my friends. And this fish is going to go to a good cause. Someone's going to take her home. Oh, yep. Wonderful fish, folks. Dude. He almost got away. He jacked me in the jaw. He almost got away on us, folks. We're going to give you one more close-up before we give this to Dave. Gotta love it, my friends. Gotta love it. Beautiful fish, folks. Yeah, solid. I'll go about 17 on this one. Yeah, she's got a massive belly on her. Probably been eating all my worms for the last 2 friggin' hours. All right. I go 17 on her. Yeah, she's all yours, buddy. That'll bring some fish fries for a month. Yeah, I used to keep them guys when I was a younger folks, but I just don't have the energy to clean them anymore. Whew. Well, you talk about a fight and a half, folks. Enjoy. Let me get my stuff back on here and get these rods back out, and I'll come check that chat. The only nuisance about doing this is you get sand between your toes. And yeah. Enough said about that. I think we've all had sand between our toes. I know Sandy Toes likes her sand between her toes, but I don't like sand between my toes. Sandy Toes does, but I don't. That's the only way to have gotten that fish in, folks, is I couldn't get her head in. This sand is just, I mean, it's nice to land them, especially when you're catch and release like me, because you don't tear the fish up. But if you're trying to get that fish in, you just can't get her head in, especially with super light line. All right. I'm all sandy and yucky and mucky and hell would. Screw it. Screw it. Let me clean my lenses off, because the one thing I can't do a stream when I can't see. You remember, he jacked me in the jaw pretty good. Yeah, they get their lickings in, folks. Trust me, they get their lickings in. Yeah, I've let thousands and thousands and thousands of those guys go over the years. I've only kept probably 100. And those are definitely going to someone's table. So there's no problem with me giving a few of those fish away to someone that I know is going to take those fish home and eat them. Because, you know, in this city, it is difficult. Some people do have difficulty, like me, especially senior citizens like Dave, making it. And that fish will provide, you know, nice fish fillets for a month easily. That's what they're down here for, to have fun and to provide a little extra food when you need it. All right. Look at that, folks. That was on our Ozark Trails, our little 6-pound combo. Cost $10. $10 at Walmart. People, you know, bringing a couple $100 rod and reel combos down here. Little $10 Walmart combo. I love it. Let's see, 2 freshwater drum, a small blue cat, a channel catfish. That channel catfish was about a pound. So it was a nice little keeper size. And I had a big one on. I think that was a flathead, because that rod just went straight down to the water, nice and slow. And when I set the hook on her, it was just dead weight, went straight down the river. I just set my drag and hook popped out. Oh well. I got her on stream though. That rod doubled over. I know what that fish was. Because you get nothing that doubles that rod over like that. You smell bread? I smell bread. It's probably the granary down there. Yeah, that corn and stuff, you know, roasting in the sun. Yep. That was fun. Let's do it again. Yeah, I'm not wet enough. It's still hot. And one great thing about the mic feed is I can sit there back there a few feet from the camera. Everyone can hear me perfectly, and I can be sitting in the shade and still do the stream. Now, if it was like nice cool day, I was sitting down here to be sitting by the water, I'd actually not use the mic feed because I want that nature sound. Yeah, the nice soft waves, the birds chirping in the background. But today like this, man, I needed to I needed to do this and this stuff. That's pretty much where that carp hit. You believe that? That close to the bank? You got some? Yeah, you can see where those ripples are right where that tree's coming out because that little boiling spot there, that little indentation right there, that's it. That's that tree. Trying to get right behind her. Yeah, this one got cleaned off too while we were trying to land that grass carp. Something was trying to pull this one in. Sucker fishes. Always taking the advantage on MVP down here. I give him enough of an advantage. Sheesh, I use like micro rod and reel combos down here. Just so the fish have a better chance of getting off the line and getting back in the water. Heck, it's content. People like always using the massive rod and reel combos. They want to land them fish. It's fun just to hook them majority of the time. Yeah, if I get to see them, yeah, I'm usually happy. I'm usually pretty happy as long as I get to see them. Yeah, this one out there is not getting crap. I mean, I'm getting bites on it. Just they peck, 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 and the bait's gone. Now that one, they peck, peck, peck. I set the hook as a big carp. Go big. Big carp, big flathead. I'm gonna step back a little bit, move our stuff just a few feet back. That way I won't need the umbrella anymore because we are getting sun. And you guys won't know the difference. I mean, I'm just a few feet further back. I'm sitting in the shade now. In the little created natural shade. Trucker says, let's go. Bonnie says, see you later, Chris. Bonnie says, that's a pretty fish. El Dabo says, I hear drum can be pretty fight for their size. True. Oh yeah, they are quite good fighters. Especially when you're using light line. Now a lot of people will hook those drum, they'll hook an 8 or 10 pound drum on 50-pound test fishing for catfish, and they wonder why it doesn't give them much of a fight. Now if you hook that 20-pound drum on 8-pound test, yeah, you're gonna fight her for a while. It says I'm still watching. Awesome, my friend. Hope you're enjoying the show. Let's see, Charlie says tight lines, brother. Tight lines, my friend. Bonnie says got a fighter. What the geez? Awesome. 68 incredible people in and 94 thumbs up. That's just awesome, my friends. Hope you guys are enjoying the show. Georgie said, what does zombie? I'm not sure what else that means, but I do know that zombie means dead, but Mitt says, get it! You have a 15-pound carp. Nice. Bonnie says, congratulations on the carp. Thank you, Bonnie. That was a fighter. Let's see with the unicorn emojis. That's the end, Fabian. How you doing, Fabian? Fabiana says hi. It's the end, Met. Met also says hi. Fabian says hi. And Dat Bay. Dat Bay asks, what river? We're on the mighty, muddy Mississippi River down in St. Louis, Missouri. If you go about quarter mile downriver from here, you'll reach the arch. And bluegrass. You have a 15-pound carp. Doesn't go to the bottom, and it isn't dead. And no, it's not dead weight. Man, did you see that fish take off on those runs? Fisherman says Mississippi. You got it, my friend. Let's see. Yam says good morning. How you doing? Good morning from the Philippines. Awesome to hear, my friend. That sheephead drum fight pretty good. They do. Any fish, if you're using massive uh, weighted line way over the weight class of that fish, yeah, You saw how that carp fought on that 6-pound test. Put up the fight of a lifetime. And Colby, how you doing, Colby? Colby says, "Hey, Mike, how are you staying cool out there? Hope you're staying cool." Well, we had an umbrella down here for a little bit, but the shade is just crunching down slowly and slowly. Getting down there closer and closer to the water. I don't really need the umbrella now. Getting down there within a few feet of the camera. Oh, one massive grass carp. Let's see. 3 freshwater drum. A small blue cat. A nice channel catfish in the... Yeah, and we missed another big one. Haven't broken into the double digits yet today, but... Hmm? Oh, yeah, I see it. I see it. Yeah, spy for a 60-year-old man, ain't I? Whew. Well, 59. I'll be 60 in August, so... Well, let's see what he did to it. August 31st, it'll be my 60th birthday. Looks like he chewed a lot. Yep. Look at that. Just chewed off the end of that worm and then some. Yep. My birthday's coming up. Stay tuned for the happy birthday bash I have down here. Assuming it's not raining on my birthday, which a lot of times it does. August 31st. Yep. The big 6-0. I broke by the 50 barrier quite a while ago, so folks. So, hey, for a 60-year-old man, I'm pretty daggone spry. You don't see many men my age can run down this bank like that and not break their necks. Now, I do fall every once in a while. But I tell you what, anyone down here on this river that took off in that speed probably would fall on occasion. I don't care if you're a Olympic runner. Hey, I'm happy now, folks. Now let's focus on some smaller fish here. Let's see if we can get some nice freshwater drum and stuff. And that bait was cleaned. You old stinkers, I didn't even see a bite on that. They're good. They are. They're freaking good. They're too good sometimes. That's only an eighth of an ounce of weight. What? Uh, let's see. One broke and the other one got buried in the sand. When the river was coming up, I was fishing on an edge, and the sand collapsed in, and the rod holder went. It went in the water. Hey, the sticks work just as good. In fact, sometimes better. Because a lot of times those rod holders, they go right over the rod holder. Sometimes they'll get stuck on the wood. Whew. I need a drink of something. I'm getting dehydrated. That's crazy. I know cast over there, but that's kind of where those big stripers and stuff like to set on that edge. All right, enjoy, Dave. Oh man, he was doubling it. Nah, I missed him. I don't know how I did. I looked over, that rod was just going to the water. Dang it. Grabbed onto the very end of the worm. Literally. How can he double that rod over with the tip very end of the worm? I'm trying to get back into chat here, folks, if these fish will let me. One good news is the later it gets, the closer the shade gets and the faster I can get back and forth to the rods until I will no longer have to get away from the rods. All right, folks, rods back out. All right, let's get to that chat. Get my soda, get my stuff. We're gonna move down. The shade is moving down fast now, folks. It wasn't even near this spot just a minute ago. Now we're dang near all the way down to the. I mean, all the way down to the back. Within a little bit, I'll be able to take the mic feed off. By the way, are we still on? Yep, we're still on. Check, make sure she's still green. Oh, right behind you now, folks. See the rock come? Yep, I'm right there. Survival, how you doing today, Survival? See, Bonnie says, Bambi, good to see you. Bambi says, double tap the screen. For MVP, let's go. Let's see and Shout, how you doing today? Shout says hi. That sheephead actually tastes pretty good as well. Says, hey, brother. Bambi says, hi, everyone. Survival says hi. Bambi says, hey, Survival. Survival says, hello, everyone. Survival says, if you have a bit, hit that like, please. Take us up from 97 to 100. Oh, we're 118 people in and 98 thumbs up. That's just incredible, my friends. You guys enjoy the show today. 118 incredible people in. And we've almost made it to 100, folks. Oh, big rod. Popping it again. Yeah, that's no little peck by either. That was hitting that rod hard. Oh. Oh, man. I know what that was. In that shallow water over there, that was a gar. I don't know why I missed him. I let him double the rod tip over. And we're getting bites, folks. Eventually, we're going to hook up into some of these more brutes. I might put a little bit less worm on this one to the left. Put a couple smaller worms on there as well. And hold the bigger one for our other rod. That was way over to the left over here. Because I'm sure that bait's gone on that one. Because that one got popped a number of times. That's about right. Not that stupid whatever it is again. Ah. Well, we're getting it off of there. That's not enough worm. Not quite enough worm. One more little itty bitty worm. Just to cover the end of that hook. Good. All right. I am going to drink a soda. That fish hit so fast. Hot soda, but still some kind of liquid. See, Survival says hello, everyone. Let's see, and Zachary. How you doing, Zachary? Have you caught any catfish yet? We caught one decent channel catfish and two small blue cats so far. I think we had a big flatty on earlier too, but that fish got away from us. It happens down here, folks. Sometimes when you're using lighter gear, you can't get the hook into them. Let's see. Kobe says, "What's the fish count?" Let's see. We've caught. Let's see. I believe 3 freshwater drum, 2 small blue cat, a channel catfish, and that big grassy. Bonnie says, "Going to sub to your channel. Great people. Thanks for sharing with us." That is awesome, Bonnie. I hope you enjoy the content. We try to we try to make some interesting and enjoyable content for everyone. Oh, look at that! Right in front of you, folks. Just a massive fish, right to your right. Mon says, "Jack scale." Yes, he has. MB says, "Oh, nice, Bonnie, and thank you again. Thank you so much, Bonnie." MB says, "Two north," and Jason, false north is in the house. Jason says, "Please say why so serious." Not serious, buddy. I'm enjoying out here. There's a bite in a small rod. Yep, that's a bite in a small rod. Popping that sucker pretty good. And we're having fun today, Jason. Little hot. Just a little hot. And that was pulling on it pretty good. Man, cleaned it. Clean that little stinker off again. And we're getting closer, folks. I can move my bucket out of about here now. We're getting close enough to where we can come in and stay in and chat with you folks. All right, bait's back on. And that one drifted down, unfortunately. I'm going to have to recast her. Yep, that one drifted. Actually, doesn't look like it drifted too much. It's the line drifted with it. And most of that bait is gone again. Dang it, dude. I'm going to leave it like that. He didn't get all the bait off. Oh. All right, rods are back out. I know. Why is that old man running around in 100 plus degree temps? And when the fish are hitting, you got to keep up with them. 82 or 3 incredible people in it. See, 102 thumbs up. Just awesome, my friends. Let's see, Bambi says, Netherlands. Pierre, how you doing? Thanks for coming back in, Pierre. Bambi with the thumbs up. And Dakota. How you doing, Dakota? That's a bite on our close rod again. Popped it a number of times. I was about ready to go for. Let's see. Dakota says, "Hey, Mike, how's the fishing today, bro?" Doing pretty good. Let's see. We've caught 3 freshwater drum, 2 blue cat, a channel catfish, and a big old grass carp. And we're still getting bites down here. Pop, pop. Come on. Ah, missed him. Picked it up. He pulled on it once or twice. Have to try to hook them when they do that. It's the best time to do it. Now we got plenty of worms left, folks. I'm just down to have to pick through the bucket. And getting down to that point where I'm going to have to start searching for them in there. Yeah, we're doing great today, Jason. It's actually starting to drop a little bit of temperature down here. I think we hit our precipice for the temperature today. Yeah, that current just started ripping all of a sudden, dragged me right off the bottom. I thought that was a bite for a minute, but wasn't. And that worm's been cleaned off again. Eventually, one of these guys is going to hit it hard enough for me to get to him. That's what that grassy did. He made a mistake of hitting it for just a little bit too long. I see him hitting on it, folks. Ah. Little stinkers after that one just doubled the rod over. Now I'm getting little peck bites over there. Yeah, there's a couple night crawlers still. Now, one benefit about it raining constantly is I keep getting night crawlers. The only drawback is the river's taking forever to get down. Usually this time of year, the rocks are out to the right over here, and we're fishing in off a cliff to the left. The rocks are just starting to come out, folks. There's a little bit of a spot here to where I can see them coming out. And I see them pecking on it. Yep, I see a little stinker pecking on it. We're almost close enough, folks. Right here, I can move our tablet to right smack dab right here. You guys can see my shadow here. Let's see. Dakota says, let's see. Bentley says, "Hey, how you doing, Bentley?" Bentley says, "I love your vids." Thanks, my friend. That's awesome to hear. That's what us YouTube creators want to hear. Let's see. Bambi says, "A nice channel." Dang, woo! Bambi says, "Nice, Bentley, for coming in." Bentley says, "Catch it, Mike." I'm trying, Bentley. Dakota says he's been busy. Bentley says, where are you fishing at? We're down on the mighty, muddy Mississippi River down in St. Louis, Missouri. We're fishing by the arch in St. Louis. Bentley says, yes, sir, the mighty Mississippi. Bentley says, I'm pretty sure the Missouri, right, guys? Oh, yeah, we're fishing in Missouri. But, it's the Mississippi. You got it right. Let's see, Mitt says, I'm still here. Awesome to hear, Mitt. Bentley says, thank you, Mitt, and nice. I don't know. I want again. Pop, 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 pop. Come on, buddy. Hit it. That might be fish weight. Yep, that was fish weight, folks. Fish on. We got him. What do we got? That's pretty good, whatever it is. Whoa. Whoa, buddy. Hold still. Hold on. Oh, popped off. Dang it. Ah. Crap. That was another good one, folks. I just didn't get a. I'm pretty sure I got a hook into that one. That felt like a common carp. With the way that fish took off on me. Crap. Oh well. That's the second nice one we missed today. But it's good to get those fish to running. To fight. I like to get them in for you guys, but they still fun to get to hit. Honestly, that almost felt like the way that fish was biting like a buffalo. Because that rod was just barely wobbling, right? I picked that up and I kind of kept felting and kept feeling. And all of a sudden I feel like a little pull back. I'm like, okay, this fish has got it in its mouth. And I set the hook and man, that's the second big one we missed out here, folks. That's due partially to the heat as well. I'm not at 100% out here in these temps. I mean, obviously, because that was on a gob of little redworms. That wasn't even night crawlers. And those buffalo, they love the little red wigglers. And that was right in his back current over here, so that's right where a nice big old buffy would be. Either a common or a buffalo carp on that one. The first one, I guarantee you, that was a flathead. But that one, the way that one was fighting, was either a buffalo or a common carp. Because those common carp will do those fast, sharp runs. And the buffalo will do that too, but they'll keep on doing it. The buffalo will stop doing that when you get them into the bank, and then they'll start spinning around in circles. Another one was just super lightly pecking on it. I mean, just bing, 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 very, very light. And we are getting a little low now, folks. I wonder how long we've been in. Now our mic feed's still on. They usually die off after 3 hours. Wonder if I got a 4-hour one or something. I don't know. It's possible. These little mics usually don't go 4 hours. They usually don't go 3 hours. Man, that's another heartbreaker, folks. But still nice to have that fish. He went, and then, and it popped off. That second run just popped it right out of his mouth. The buffalo are so easy to lose, folks. When you get them, that's another bite. They are. They're so easy to miss. So I just picked it up like that, right? And I kept feeling. And all of a sudden I felt, and there was weight on there. That was a fish. That was another river monster, folks. That was another big one. We've only been able to land one of those fish today, but unfortunately, when they won't hit my big rod and they only hit my smaller gear, man, it's tough to land the suckers. 99% of people down here wouldn't be able to land them at all. 100 likes, just 90 people in, and 111 thumbs up. And Ray, how you doing today? Ray says, MVP, how are you doing, buddy? Doing okay, my friend. We're kind of sticking with the heat. Amon says, one grass carp, one freshwater drum, two blue cat, and one nice channel cat. Let me pin that up. Yeah, that was a big one, folks. I'm sorry for missing it, though. There you go. Thank you, Colby. Appreciate it, my friend. Yeah, it was probably either a buffalo or a nice common carp. Let's see, Bambi with the thumbs up. Nathan says anything biting. Yeah, we're getting bites every cast. Now keeping these big old brutes hooked down here is another matter. We got one big grass carp, two blue cat. Let's see, three freshwater drum and a channel catfish so far. Let's see, Bambi says yes, sir. Colby says, yep, anything that bites worms. Yep, we're uh, species of fish vary from common carp, grass carp, buffalo carp, blue cat channel, flathead. That's another bite. That's a little peck bite on there. Stripers, white bass, skipjack, and several species of sturgeon. We got, oh boy, such a diversification in size too, folks. This is the reason why I gotta use the little hooks. If I don't use the little hooks, these little guys will take my bait off all day long, and you'll never hook anything bigger. Use the smaller hooks, at least you can hook these little kittens, and you can get them out of the way, because once you hook them, they don't bite for at least a couple of hours. Cool little blue cat, folks. That's our third little blue cat of the day. Cool guy. And imagine these guys get over 100 pounds after they've been eating my worms for 20 years. Can you imagine why they get 100 pounds? I mean, sheesh, this little kitten will grow so dang big. Oh my, no, never mind. See you, buddy. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, he only fed me once, but my dad always said if you don't bleed on a fishing out fishing, it's not a good day fishing. Yeah, we're getting down to the nitty gritty now, folks. We're getting down to our last few worms. Yep, these kittens and cats and carp and everything, and have eaten us out of house and home again. We're gonna have to go home and dig some more for our next trip out here, where we will feed them again and again and again and again and again. Oh boy. Yeah, I still got a few worms in here, so not to worry. We're not completely out yet. I still got 15 or 20 left, so. All right, rod's back out. Let's come check that chat. And we're still catching fish. Let's see, Nathan says, I thought so. Same wave for everyone, I think. Let's see, Robbie says, drum are also called Gasper ghosts. Yep, they are. They're also called freshwater drum or white perch. Let's see, Nathan says, bite. Robbie says, you got a bite, mister. And he says, Robbie Eagle Eye. See, North Angling. How you doing, my friend? Angly sent the happy poo emoji. Awesome, my friend. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Robbie says you need some shad or shrimp. Shad is okay if it's fresh. Now, if it's frozen, forget about it. It doesn't work down here. Even the gar won't touch frozen shrimp down here for some reason. Now, fresh shad, the only problem is you can't catch shad down here on this part of the river. You would literally have to get in a boat, go upriver about 30 miles, up to Columbia Bottoms where the Missouri and Mississippi meet, get them there, and bring them down here. Now, then they'd work. Now, skipjack herring is a very good bait down here, and freshwater drum actually works pretty good. As our recent live feeds, when we put a few big flathead and gar on those, and a couple big catfish on those channel cat on those pieces of freshwater drum, they're just not a whole. They just don't like frozen shad. I just don't like it a lot. Even frozen skipjack. Now, frozen skipjack, you can get the gar to hit, but the catfish won't hit it. At least, at least during the summertime. The wintertime is a little different. But during wintertime, I can usually catch them fresh myself. Usually, if the water's low, I can go down here with a little crappie jig and a little piece of worm and catch myself 3 or 4 skipjack in a blink's eye. This when this rock face comes out, I'll be able to catch my own skipjack carrying over to the right. And we usually do that on live stream as well. It's just the water hasn't been that low this year. I see him pecking on it. That big rod's getting a taste. Pecking on it real lightly there. Yep, he's thinking about it. This little stinker would let me get my other rod back out. All right, that looks pretty good. I was looking at that reel because I didn't realize that reel was that low on line. Uh, I got all that bait off again. Yeah, we're about out, folks, so that might be it for the feed. I dug 70 of them, and we didn't have many worm die down here today because we kept them in the shade. Oh, there's one left. That's all we needed was one. That's one left. We're gonna roll that up the hook just as tight as we can. Watch me hook the biggest catfish on this little tiny friggin' worm. All right, rod is back out. Rods are set. Come back and check that chat. Don't say you MBP doesn't work his Batutski off out here for you guys. And in these rods. Shrimp, they work on occasion. Usually when the water's higher, that shrimp will work okay, better. When the water starts getting clearer, you don't really get that many bites on it. Not unless it's like really spoiled and icky and yucky. Radio, how you doing, Radio? Most baits have their time of the year and their preferences. They'll work a couple months out of the year and then stop. Rio says, wow, you're way down by the railroad bridge. Greetings from Cincinnati, my friend. Awesome. Ethan says, big rod. Yep, I saw that as well. MB says, double tap the screen for MVP fishing. Awesome, my friend. 43 incredible people still and seeing 118 thumbs up. Awesome, folks. That was a bite on this one again. Gave it a little taste there. Yeah, these guys can be so sensitive, folks. That last fish I had, when I was holding the rod, I could barely feel that rod tip wobble. Just die. Right on cue, folks. Just in time. 3 hours. And the mic feed is... She died, folks. I noticed. Seven incredible people and 118 thumbs up. Awesome, folks. You guys are enjoying the show today. Now we are about out of worms, folks. I think we're down to our last worm here. Not a bad feed for 100 plus temperatures. I don't think not bad at all, in fact. Most people are staying indoors. You see people, anglers that are out fishing aren't catching much. Well, I wanted to see if something would hit this bait one last time. 3 hours is a pretty good time. I would keep on fishing, but I'm about out of bait. I have to pretty much out. Let's go down to our last one. You little stinker. How did I miss that? We got enough worm on there. One more bite. It'd be nice to have a little bit more worm on here. We're down to our last couple worms, folks. We're kicking through here, picking out our last couple itty bitty wormies. That's fine. I see you hitting that other rod. I saw a little stinker bounce down there once. Oh. I didn't know this reel was this low on line. I've been having to put 360 on test on it. I can see the bottom of my spoon. Sand. Sand on top of my sand on top of my sand. Huh. What are you gonna do? Just in time, that mic feed just ran out on us. That I was kind of watching there. I knew she brought out in about 3 hours. There's another one. We got a few left in here. Seth Johnson, how you doing, Seth Johnson? Johnson says, Seth Johnson, check again. Seth Johnson says, hey, Mike. Seth Johnson says, hey, Nathan. And Scooby. How you doing today, Scooby? Scooby says, Mikey. How you doing today, my friend? Tell you what, you've been on a lot, Scooby, so let me get you a reg, buddy. There you go. Welcome to the Blue Jacket Club, my friend. He says, hope all is well. Hey, we've done pretty good so far today. I had a nice big grass carp, missed a couple bigger fish, caught some smaller blue caps, a nice channel catfish, a couple drum. Definitely a good day. Says hello, Scooby. Scooby says, thank you, sir. You're very welcome, my friend. Again, welcome to the Blue Jacket Club. Scooby says, thinking about heading out to the river here in a bit. Good luck, my friend. I'm about ready to shut her down myself. We're down to our last couple of worms here today. We're literally down to our last worm or two. Says hi. And I missed 3 big ones today, but I've landed one, so I can't complain about not having the opportunities. This 100-degree temps down here, it's making it a little tricky to breathe, in honesty. And we've got a pretty bad air quality day, so I think that might be it. That might have been our last worm. And that's about it. That's our last worm, folks. Yep, the only fish we've been able to hook today have been in our smaller rod. I think this spot's been hit heavily recently. That's the only time I usually find it difficult to get these fish to hit. Get on my medium weights with my big rod. Snagged up. I'm gonna let that set there. Maybe someone take it off. It's the end of the day, folks. That's our last worm as well. Let's see if I can get a bite on this one. I'm just gonna hold this for a minute. It says hi. That Scooby says hi, Seth. The incredible people still at 120 thumbs up. Awesome. Again, I hope you guys enjoyed the show today. Bait stealers. They've been stealing my bait all friggin' day. Did break into the double digits. That's the first trip in probably 3 months we haven't broken into the double digits of fish down here. Alright. I think we're gonna call it. We've been in definitely over 3 hours. Had a pretty good feed today. Yep. I think we're gonna call her, folks. Been a pretty nice feed. I don't know about you guys, but I had fun. Huh? It says connect to the internet. Oh, my cellular data turned off. Must have pressed it weird. Retry. Oh, there we are. See, big storm headed your way from the north, MVP. Head up. Yep, sounds good to me. We've been in 3 hours. Had some awesome fishing fun for you guys. I'm just gonna, yeah, like I said, we're gonna shut her down. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Hope you guys have a great rest of your Monday. Stay cool out there, my friends. It's hot. It's hot. I'm just gonna add my old good luck. Stay safe. Hope to see you on the water, my friends. Keep doing what you love. Keep them lines tight. I'll see you on the next one. So have a great rest of your day, my friends. Thank you. Appreciate it. Bye.